If you think women fall for money, looks, or lines, you've already lost, because attraction isn't about what you have. It's about how you make her feel when she's around you. I'm going to tell you something most men never hear from a woman's mouth. Compliments are not about flattery. They are about psychological positioning. Most men compliment beauty. That's the lowest level of attraction. When you tell a woman you're so hot, your brain thinks you're elevating her. But emotionally, you've just placed yourself beneath her. Because beauty is the compliment she hears from strangers, coworkers, waiters, and men sliding into her inbox every day. You become background noise. Attraction deepens when a woman feels seen in a way that feels rare. Not evaluated, not chased, not approved, seen. The first compliment that creates emotional gravity is this: "I respect how you handled that." Do you understand how powerful that is? Respect is the currency men crave, but women almost never receive it from men they're dating. They receive desire, they receive pursuit, they receive validation for appearance, but respect, that hits a different part of her nervous system. When you acknowledge her decision-making, her boundaries, the way she communicates, the way she navigates conflict, you are signaling that you value her mind. You are separating yourself from the herd, and here's what happens internally for her. Safety rises. Women don't fall in love with excitement alone. They fall in love where safety and admiration intersect. The second compliment most men miss is this: "You have strong standards." That's rare. You might think this pushes her away. It doesn't. It tells her you're not intimidated by her boundaries. Weak men resent standards. Secure men appreciate them. When you compliment her standards, you frame her as selective, and you subtly position yourself as someone who qualifies. That's psychological leadership without arrogance. Now let me show you the third one, and this one changes the emotional temperature instantly. "I like how you think," not "you're smart." That's generic. "I like how you think" is specific. It tells her you are paying attention to her perspective, not just her appearance. A woman's attraction deepens when she feels mentally chosen, not just physically wanted. Here's something most men never realize. Women test for depth constantly. She'll share opinions. She'll tell stories. She'll reveal contradictions. She's subconsciously asking, "Are you listening? Or are you just waiting for your turn to impress me?" When you compliment her thinking process, you pass the depth test. But there's a rule. Delivery must be calm, certain, no over-explaining, no nervous laughter. Compliments lose power when they feel like approval-seeking. Say it once, let it land, then continue the conversation as if it was obvious. That communicates abundance. Now let's go deeper. The fourth compliment that builds real attraction isn't romantic at all. It's this: you're very self-aware. Self-awareness is a trait most people don't possess. When you call it out in her, you're telling her you notice emotional intelligence. And women crave being understood emotionally more than being desired physically. But here's the key: only say this if she actually demonstrates it. Authenticity matters. Empty praise destroys trust. You see, attraction isn't built by exaggeration, it's built by precision. The men who win long-term aren't the loudest. They're the most observant. And when a woman feels observed in a way that feels intelligent rather than intrusive, she relaxes. When she relaxes, she opens. When she opens, she bonds. This is the difference between surface attraction and emotional imprinting. Surface attraction excites her. Emotional imprinting stays with her when she's alone at night thinking about you. If you learn to compliment identity instead of appearance, mindset instead of makeup, character instead of curves, you shift from being an option to being an experience. And experiences are addictive, because what she remembers isn't what you said. It's how you made her see herself when she was with you. Let me take you somewhere deeper. Most men compliment what a woman shows. Very few compliment what she reveals. And that difference? That's where emotional attachment is born. The fifth compliment that creates quiet intensity is this: you're different than I expected in a good way. Now listen carefully. This is not manipulation. It's calibrated intrigue. When you say this calmly, without smirking, without teasing her ego, you create curiosity. Her mind instantly wants to know, what did you expect? What did I do differently? Curiosity is one of the strongest drivers of attraction. It pulls her toward you instead of you pushing toward her. But here's the psychology behind it. Women are used to being categorized quickly: pretty, outgoing, shy, ambitious, fun. When you signal that she surprised you, you're telling her she has depth, layers, complexity, and complexity invites investment. The sixth compliment that builds emotional tension is this: you're very grounded. This one is powerful because it speaks to stability. In modern dating, chaos is common. Emotional inconsistency is common. Drama is common. When you recognize grounded energy in her, whether it's how she speaks, how she reacts, or how she carries herself, you are affirming calm strength. And here's what happens inside her nervous system. She associates you with peace. Men often think attraction is about adrenaline. It's not. Adrenaline creates sparks. Peace creates attachment. When she feels regulated around you, she starts lowering her guard without realizing it. Now let's talk about the seventh compliment. This one is subtle but magnetic. I feel like you don't need attention to feel valuable. Do you understand what that communicates? You are telling her you see independence in her, not performative attention seeking, not validation hunger, but self-contained worth. That's rare acknowledgement. And when a woman feels that you see her as internally secure, she unconsciously wants to live up to that identity around you. This is advanced psychology. People gravitate toward those who reflect back a version of themselves they're proud of. But again, tone is everything. No sarcasm, no testing, just calm observation. Now here's the eighth compliment, and this one, when used correctly, creates long-term emotional imprinting. You make conversations feel easy. This is different from "I like talking to you." It focuses on the experience of being with her. It communicates emotional compatibility. Women deeply value connection that feels effortless. When you tell her that interacting with her feels natural, you're signaling alignment. Alignment builds comfort. Comfort builds trust. Trust builds desire. You see the pattern? None of these compliments were about her body. None of them were exaggerated. None of them were needy. They were observations. High-value compliments are observational, not performative. Let me explain something important. When a man constantly praises beauty, he positions himself as a fan. When a man calmly acknowledges character, he positions himself as an equal. Women don't fall for fans. They fall for men who feel steady, perceptive, and emotionally grounded. And there's another layer you must understand. Compliments should never come rapid fire. That feels strategic. Or worse, desperate. One well-placed observation during a moment of genuine connection is more powerful than 10 compliments scattered throughout the night. Timing amplifies impact. If she opens up about something personal and you say, "I respect how honest you are," that lands. If she makes a difficult decision and you say, "That shows strength," that lands. Attraction grows in micro moments, not grand speeches. You don't need to overwhelm her. You need to notice her. And when she feels noticed in a way that feels intelligent, calm, and sincere, she starts associating you with emotional safety and mental stimulation. That combination is rare, and rare is unforgettable. Now I'm going to tell you what most dating advice will never admit. A compliment is not powerful because of the words. It's powerful because of the emotional frame you deliver it from. If your energy says, "Please like me," even the most intelligent compliment collapses. If your energy says, "I see you, and I'm not impressed easily," even a simple observation carries weight. Women are hyper-aware of emotional subtext. Long before she analyzes your sentence, she feels your positioning. That's why two men can say the exact same compliment, and one creates attraction while the other creates discomfort. Let's sharpen this. When you say, "I respect how you handled that," but your posture is slouched, your tone uncertain, your eyes searching for approval, it feels like validation seeking. But when you say it calmly, hold eye contact briefly, and then shift back into conversation without waiting for her reaction, it feels like leadership. Attraction responds to emotional certainty. Here's another truth you were never taught. Silence after a compliment is powerful. Most men sabotage themselves by over-talking. They deliver something meaningful, then immediately fill the space because they're uncomfortable with stillness. Stillness is confidence. When you say, "I like how you think," and then let that breathe, she feels it. You don't rush to justify it. You don't explain why. You don't stack more praise on top. You let her sit in it. That space allows her imagination to engage. And imagination is where attraction grows. Now let's talk about calibration. Compliments must match the stage of connection. If you barely know her and you say something overly intimate, it feels intrusive. Emotional pacing matters. Early stage, compliment observable traits like composure, communication style, perspective. Mid-stage, compliment emotional intelligence, values, resilience. Later stage, compliment the impact she has on your emotional world. Progression builds depth. Another mistake men make is complimenting during insecurity spikes. If she pulls back slightly and you suddenly start praising her heavily, it reads as fear of loss. Compliments should not be reactive, they should be grounded in presence, not anxiety. Remember this, attraction weakens when a woman senses she controls your emotional state. It strengthens when she feels you're steady regardless of outcome. Now here's something subtle but powerful. Never argue with her humility. If she responds to a compliment with, "Oh, it was nothing," don't push. Just smile slightly and say, "Maybe, but I noticed." That communicates conviction without force. You're not debating her self-image, you're standing by your observation, and women trust men who stand by their perceptions calmly. Let's go even deeper. The most magnetic compliments are identity-based, not performance-based. Performance says, "You did something good." Identity says, "This is who you are." When you say you're disciplined instead of "you worked hard," you're speaking to identity. Identity-level compliments anchor deeper, but use them carefully. They must be true. If you exaggerate identity, it feels manipulative. If you accurately name it, it feels intimate. Now here's the advanced layer. Compliments should never replace standards. You can admire her intelligence and still disagree with her. You can respect her strength and still hold boundaries. In fact, boundaries amplify compliments. When a woman realizes you appreciate her but do not pedestalize her, attraction intensifies. Why? Because pedestal energy feels unstable. Equal footing feels secure. And security allows desire to expand without fear. Let me tell you something women rarely admit openly. They don't fall hardest for the man who praises them the most. They fall for the man whose words feel measured, intentional, and rare. Scarcity increases value. If you compliment everything, nothing feels special. If you notice selectively, every observation carries weight. This is not about playing games. It's about emotional discipline. When your compliments come from clarity instead of craving, they build respect first and attraction second. And respect is the foundation that prevents attraction from collapsing under pressure. Without respect, desire fades. With respect, desire deepens. And when both are present, attachment becomes inevitable. Now let's bring everything together, because understanding compliments is not enough. You must understand the impact they create over time. The truth is this, attraction is cumulative. One compliment won't change everything, but consistent, authentic recognition of who she is will slowly reshape how she experiences you. Let's elevate the final layer, the ninth powerful shift, because yes, sometimes attraction grows beyond just 8 patterns, is this mindset. Compliment her growth. Say something like, "I've noticed how much you've grown in how you handle things." Growth-based acknowledgement is powerful because it shows awareness over time. It tells her you are paying attention to progress, not just moments. Women who feel seen in their evolution feel emotionally safe with the person who witnessed it. And here's why this works psychologically. When someone recognizes your growth, they validate your effort and transformation. That creates loyalty at a deeper level than surface praise. Now let's address something important. Compliments alone won't make a woman fall for you. They amplify attraction. They don't create it from nothing. Your body language, your ambition, your emotional control, your ability to lead conversations, all of that sets the foundation. Compliments are the emotional accelerators. If the foundation is weak, compliments feel forced. If the foundation is strong, compliments feel powerful. So always ask yourself before speaking, am I observing something real, or am I trying to manufacture connection? Authenticity always wins. Another advanced principle most men overlook is this: deliver compliments selectively during moments of emotional vulnerability. When she shares a fear, a past experience, or something personal, and you respond with, "That took courage to share," that moment becomes emotionally imprinted. Why? Because vulnerability plus acknowledgement equals sign bonding. The brain links safety with the person who responded respectfully to openness. That's how attachment begins quietly. Now let me give you something practical. When you're on a date or talking to a woman you like, don't force yourself to search for compliments. Instead, observe 3 things: how she communicates, how she treats others, how she handles discomfort. When you naturally notice something meaningful, that's your cue. And here's the final truth I want you to remember. The most attractive compliment a man can give is this: "You feel real." That sentence carries power because it speaks to authenticity. It tells her you see beyond performance, filters, and social masks. And when a woman feels emotionally exposed but accepted, attraction deepens in a way that's hard to reverse. Let me challenge you now. Think about the woman you're trying to attract, or the relationship you're currently in. Ask yourself this equation: do my words create respect plus curiosity plus emotional safety? If yes, you're building real attraction. If not, you're just talking. Now I want you to answer in the comments, which of these compliments surprised you the most, and how are you going to use it differently from now on? Like this video if it opened your eyes, subscribe for deeper psychological breakdowns like this, and share it with one friend who needs to understand attraction at a deeper level.